नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय। हर नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव शंभो शंकर। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। मंगलाचरण श्लोक। सर्ववेदान्त सिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। What are the qualities of student? We have discussed how to approach Guru, that Guru Pasadana. We have seen in brief and elaborately we are going to discuss. And what are the great, glorious qualities of Guru Mahatma? We are discussing in the sloka number 32. Ukta sadhana sampannaha tattvajignasuratmanaha upasidet gurum prajnam yasmad bandha vimokshenam. One who is endowed with sadhana chatushtayam, one who is endowed with great qualities, viveka, vairagya, etc., shamadamadi gunas and tivra mumukshutvam. Such kind of disciple, seeker of truth, he has to approach preceptor to get rid of from the all kinds of bondages, to get self-knowledge. So this is called Guru Sadhana. And who is that Guru Mahatma? We have seen few qualities of Sadguru in the sloka number 33. Once again we will chant this sloka. Srotriyo vrujino kama hato yo brahma vittamaha brahmanyu shantaha nirindhana ivanalaha ahetu kadaya sindhuhu bandhuranamatam satam. Beautiful description about Guru, about preceptor. Srotriyaha means one who is learned, one who is well versed in the scriptures. Srutavan, it is Srotriyaha. Srutavan, one who listened what he heard, scriptures. Brahma Vidya, one who received Atma Vidya from Guru Parampara, and he is endowed wonderful quality of explaining inner meanings of scriptures to the fit students, is called Srotriyaha. He is not only studying, and he is having capacity to impart to others. Guru Mahatma, he realized the self, but if he is unable to explain to other person, then one who is in ignorant state, just by getting darshan of Brahman, means one who realized that Brahma Swarupa, that Brahma Jnani, he cannot understand what are the inner meanings of scriptures. He cannot realize the self, that student. So that Guru Mahatma, when he explains scriptures to the student, then only the ignorance in the student will be removed. So Srotriyaha, well versed in the Shastra. Avrujinaha, free from sins. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Ityadi, these are the things prompt the person to commit sins. Mula of everything, the root cause of all these things, desire. Because of desire only, sins also will be committed. So avrujinaha means one who is free from all kinds of sins. And we have discussed this point earlier also. The person, when he is performing any action, if that action is prompted by egocentric, means egocentric desire, if that is prompted by his selfishness, and if it is prompted by negative kind of thought, then that is called sin. If his intention is pure, that action may be appearing outside little bit harsh, but it doesn't consider as sin. So when person is having doership and intention is wrong, then that is called sin. Here Mahatma's intentions are very pure, and all those actions performed by Guru Mahatmas are for the welfare of others, for the welfare of society. Loka Kalyanartham, Vishwa Kalyanartham. So avrujinaha, no dirt at all, no malinya at all, pure in nature. Akamahataha, next word. Kama means desire. Akamahataha means one who is not at all influenced by the desires, or we can say one who is unafflicted by the desires. Because when desire is there, mind will be in the condition of hesitation. Because of that hesitation, that person cannot experience peace. And not only that, when that desire is too strong, unless he will perform that action and fulfills that, the desire will not keep that person quiet. It will not allow that person to be quiet. So here, the Mahatma, Guru, preceptor, is free from Putreshna, Vitteshna, and Lokeshna. These are the three main categories we can say of desires. Putreshna, this is called Eshnatraya. Putreshna means that person will be having desire to have his own people, means wife, children, relatives, etc. And he will be expecting, may my lineage will be continuing like that. So these are not considered sins, not like that. But when that person is having too much attachment with such relationships, then that is going to cause sorrow. Example, in Mahabharata, we have seen that Dhritarashtra, because of that extreme kind of attachment with his own children, he could not follow his Swadharma. He became the cause of the ruin of entire dynasty of Kurus. So, Putreshna, desire for Prusim, means extreme attachment with them. And the second one is Vitteshna. Vitta means wealth, money, power, position. All includes in this one. Vitteshna means that person will be all the time wants to get lot of money. He will not use for any good purpose. Just he will be go on acquiring. And he wants to be all the time in power and position. And that one also, that person will not be utilizing properly. So one who is having extreme attachment with money, objects, power, position, that is called Vitteshna. And wants to get more and more also. Not at all feeling it is enough, it is sufficient. The thought of satisfaction will not be there in his mind. And third one is Lokeshna. Lokeshna means, one meaning is he wants to become very famous. He wants to get kirti, fame, name and fame in this world. And not only in this world, another one is that person wants to go to higher worlds. Lokeshna. So one, he is having extreme kind of desires towards these kind of things, Putreshna, Vitteshna and Lokeshna. That person, we can say he is utterly in ignorant state, and because of all these desires, that person will be go on performing actions, and he will be acquiring more and more vasanas also. So here it is said, Guru Mahatma is akamahataha, means he is uninfluenced or unafflicted. He will not be in such kind of condition. Desires will not create any trouble in him. Means desires cannot create any kind of hesitation in him. If at all that Mahatma is having any desire, that is not at all desire, that is sankalpa only for good cause, for higher cause. So aka mahataha. But ignorant person will be all the time like one after another desires will be arising, and so many kind of activities will be going on, worldly kind of things. Next, yo yaha brahma vittamaha, one who is the best among all knowers of Brahman. Brahma Vit means the knower of Brahma Tattva. It is said, Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who knows Brahman, he becomes Brahman. In fact, we cannot use this word, he becomes Brahman. In fact, he is Brahma Swarupa. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who knows Brahman, he is Brahman. So, Guru, he should have these two important qualities. One is Srotriya, second one is Brahmanishta Purusha. Should have experience of Bhagavad Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, and he should able to explain scriptures and able to communicate, express what is the nature of self through the wonderful way of methodology, systematic way he should able to explain. Then only ignorant students, they can understand well. So this Brahmanishta word here used Brahmavittamaha, Brahmani Uparataha, etc. Brahmani Uparataha means one who is firmly abiding in Brahma Swarupa. So one who is Srotriya means well versed in the scriptures, he studied a lot and he did vicharana, he is able to explain to others. Avrujinaha, free from sins. Akamahataha, unafflicted by the desires, worldly kind of desires. Brahmavittamaha, the full knower of Brahma Swarupa. He knows what is that Brahma Tattva. And Brahmani Uparataha, not only is knowing Brahma Tattva, abiding in the Brahma Swarupa, Brahmanishta Purusha. Because knowing is okay, but abiding is more important thing. Just knowing, sometimes what will happen because of other so many things that maybe we cannot say he will become again ignorant person, but that establishment will not be there, abidance will not be there, then Maya is so powerful. Even great Mahatmas also they will fall from their wonderful state. So not only Brahmavittamaha, he is Brahmani Uparataha, also abiding in the Brahma Swarupa. Next one, Shantaha. Shantaha, one who is peaceful, one who is quiet in nature. When Shanti will be there? Shanti is possible, peace is possible. The state of peacefulness is possible only when that person will be free from all kinds of sorrows and hesitations. Yes. Even single thought of sadness or sorrow or problem will be there, that person cannot experience the peace. Even when person is completely drowning in the what you call so many worldly kinds of activities, that time also person cannot experience peace. But please don't understand here peace means only the state of mind. Here peace is this word shantaha word is used. He is peaceful in profound way. This peace is not because of free from only desires, free from sorrows, outside appearance. This shanta sthiti is nothing but moksha sthiti. From his standpoint, he maybe it's a worldly level, he may be acting also. He may be acting means he may be performing so many actions, but in deep, in his heart, all the time he will be experiencing peace. When Guru is experiencing that peace, one who approaches him, that person also will experience peace, that happiness. Even in world also, if one person is all the time weeping, crying, and all the time sad mood, that time whoever will go to near that person, slowly those lakshanas will come to another person. Yes. One who is cheerful, one who is enthusiastic, one who is active, one who is all the time thinking positively. If we go near to that person, it will reflect upon us also. Our way of thinking also will be positive. We will get such kind of qualities only. So our company is most important. So Guru Mahatma, he is quite Shantaha. How he is Shanta? Nirindhana Ivanalaha. Wonderful example. Shankaracharya is saying, Anala means fire. Eva means like. Indhana means fuel. Nirindhana means without fuel. When we are go on pouring that fuel, that time that fire will be burning more and more. When that fuel is not there, then there will not be any kind of fire. In the same way, when vasanas will not be there at all, then shanti will be there. If more and more vasanas are gurgling inside, so many kind of things, then we cannot experience peace. You might have seen so many people in their lives, they may be having money, they may be having name, fame, so many their own people, friends, relatives around that person, and whatever requirements or whatever required, he might have got all those things worldly level. But that person, in the midst of all these kind of comforts and luxuries, that person may be complaining, I don't know, I am not experiencing peace, I'm not peaceful. That person will be seeking for that shanti. Even for a few minutes also, if I will be peaceful, that is good. Why? Because the state of peacefulness is not depending upon only external things. We maybe it's thinking because of external things we will get peace, we will set it correct and then we will experience that peace. No. Whole life we will be go on doing adjusting everything, making such kind of atmosphere to be peaceful. I'll be in such kind of shanta sthiti, prashanta sthiti, I want shanti. But it will not come just like that because of adjusting few things externally. It is possible only by receiving self-knowledge. So this Guru Mahatma, he is experiencing that moksha sthiti, no vasanas at all. That's why he is Shanta Nirindhana Eva Analaha. Like that Indhana means fuel. When there is no fuel, then there will not be fire. In the same way, quietude will be experienced by that receptor, Guru Mahatma. Next, Ahetuka Daya Sindhu. Great Guru Mahatma is there. He is well versed in the scriptures and he is a Shanta Purusha. He is Brahmavittama, no sins at all, free from worldly kind of desires. Everything is fine. But if he himself is experiencing that state of bliss and he will be reveling in that Brahma Swarupa, then how disciple can get that knowledge? So Ahetuka Daya Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean. Hetu means cause. Ahetu means without any cause, causeless. Ahetuka Daya Sindhu. Daya means compassion, kindness. That Guru Mahatma is like ocean of compassion without any cause. When he is compassionate, when he is having love towards others, then only he will explain that knowledge. He will impart that knowledge to others. But here Ahetuka word is used. It's not like Ahetuka means without any cause, not comparing with worldly kind of things. Here Ahetuka Daya Sindhu word is used. He is having such kind of compassion because when he has gone through the state of that ignorance, he knows that what were the, we cannot say what are, in earlier days, means beginning stage of his sadhaka life. He experienced all kinds of difficulties, kleshas, and he knows what are the obstacles may come across when person is pursuing this wonderful path of knowledge, one who is seeking that self-realization. So that Mahatma will be having such compassion. He will understand the state of that ignorant person, and because of that compassion and love, he will impart that knowledge to the fit students. That is also important. That's why here it is a Bandhuhu Anamatam Satam. He is Bandhu. He is Bandhu. Bandhu means not relative here. Bandhu means one who is very close to the heart. One who is like intimate friend. So Hruda, our best well-wisher. See, when we go to satsang, it's like a saints Mahatmas when they will be giving discourses, means pravachans. Mahatmas, saints and sages, Santa Mahatmas belongs to everyone. They will be having compassion towards everyone. Yes. When it comes to the term Guru, Guru is special for me. That what you call inner connection will be there. The tuning will be there. We feel, yes, he is my Guru. Yes, I can share what I'm having problems in this spiritual path. I can ask doubts, and he's having that compassion. He's showering that compassion. That feeling will be there. Santa Mahatmas, yes, that love and respect will be there, reverence will be there. But when it comes to Guru Shishya Sambandha, that is special relationship. Hundreds and thousands of Mahatmas, saints and sages will be there in Kumbh Mela. Just we will do Namaskar Pranam. And they also will be just blessing. But who will remove my ignorance? Guru. Special. Bandhu. Anamatam Satam. Anamatam Satam means, Sat means good. Satam, those who are good people. Anamatam means those who have completely surrendered to him. He is Ahetuka Daya Sindhu. He is like Bandhu. Santa Mahatma is blessing everyone, he said. When we have the thought of, he is my Guru, I am his disciple, the same Santa Mahatma will take the position of Guru, and personal care will be there. And when the disciple will accept that person as Guru, then Guru Mahatma will take the responsibility to remove ignorance in the disciple. I hope you are understanding this difference. We will be seeing so many Mahatmas, so many great Mahatmas. We'll be reading their what you call books also, literature, and we will be following so many things also. But when it comes to Guru, it's special. So those who are good people, those who have surrendered Anamatam Satam to them, that Guru is like Daya Sindhu, ocean of compassion, Ahetuka Daya Sindhu, and Bandhu. He is very close and very near to them. He will bless them. He will impart that knowledge. Next sloka. Now Guru Mahatma's great qualities expounded here. Having heard all these things, please don't go and test anyone. Is he good Guru or not? Please don't do that one. It is not to check out anyone, whether he studies scriptures well or not, questioning things, and whether he experienced that Bhagavad Tattva or not, whether he is free from all desires and sins or not. Don't test. And here it is said, Ahetuka Daya Sindhu. So whatever we will be committing all mistakes, he is ocean of compassion, boundless. No? So he has to forgive everything. Please don't think like that. Guru means another meaning also is there. One who will be putting us all the time on right track, even by punishing also. Okay. Daya, it doesn't mean all the time as, oh, you are so nice, you are so great, praising the disciple. Not like that. Daya means that kindness will be expressing to remove the ignorance in the disciple. That is kindness. Okay. It's not pampering disciple. So then how we will get good Mahatma, good Guru? How can we find out all these qualities in one person? How can we recognize him? How we will come to know he is Srotriya, Brahmanishta Purusha? Then only I can study under him, I can receive knowledge from him. No? Our Guru Parampara, our Puja Gurudev. They say, first you become fit student, then you can recognize Guru in front of you. Otherwise, even Sakshat Brahmaji will come and stand in front of you, or Lord Shivaji will come and stand in front of you, or Vishnu, Bhagwan will come and stand in front of you. That time also you cannot recognize. If they are ready to impart that Brahmajnana also, if you are not fit student, you cannot receive that knowledge from them. As long as that Arjuna is considering Lord Krishna as a relative, friend, like that, Lord Krishna, he did not impart that self-knowledge, Atma-jnana. When Arjuna has taken that place, yes, I am your disciple, you are my Guru, Dharma Sammuda Chetaha, I don't know what is Dharma, what is my Swadharma, please accept me as your disciple and please explain that knowledge and let me know what is my dharma. Then only Lord Krishna started imparting that knowledge of self, Sankhya Yoga. So please don't search for Guru outside. Please don't test any person, is he good preceptor or not. First, let us become fit students to receive Brahmajnana. Then Bhagwan will send Guru. Even we cannot say Bhagwan will send. Bhagwan will come in the form of Guru and will impart that knowledge. Right? Next. Tamaradhya gurum bhaktya. After approaching Guru, what should be done? That Guru Pasadana, Guru Pasakti. Tamaradhya gurum bhaktya Brahva prasraya sevanaihi Brahva prasraya sevanaihi Prasannam tamanupprapya Prasannam tamanupprapya Pruche jnatam yamatmanaha Pruche jnatam yamatmanaha Tam aradhya gurum. Tam gurum aradhya. After approaching that Srotriya Brahmanista Guru, do worship. Have that feeling of love and reverence towards him. Deep devotion. Bhaktyam. Tam aradhyam gurum bhaktya. Having the deep devotion, you worship that Guru Mahatma. How? Prahva prasraya sevanaihi. Prahva prasraya sevanaihi. Three things. Prahva, first one. Prahva means surrender. With surrender. Prasraya means with humility. With vinaya bhava. Sevanaihi. By seva. By service. Surrender, with humility, with service. Prasannam, once Guru is pleased, then tam anuprapya, approach him. Pruchet, ask. Pruchet means ask. Prasannam, one who is pleased. Tam means Guru. Anuprapya, having approached. Pruchet, you ask. Don't ask Guru Mahatma what is Brahma Tattva, who am I, and what is Tattvamasi. Just calling him and asking him, please don't do like that. And coming just first time only, I heard you're teaching well this Brahmajnana, etc. All talks also here and there I have seen in YouTube and here and there. I think it's good only, nice explanation. Now I came here for 4 hours. I'm having 4 hours time I can spend today. So immediately, that word also, yeah, you see, immediately you can give Brahmajnana. I will take and I will go back. Train also is there. It's after 4 hours I have to catch the train. To such kind of person. See, he is so great. He has given 4 hours time to that Guru Mahatma to impart that Brahmajnana. Bichara, that Guru, one who received that Brahmajnana from Guru Parampara, he renounced everything. He left home, relatives, friends, job, property, everything he left, he renounced and he went to Guru Mahatma Himalayas, and he has gone through so many kinds of difficulties with a lot of patience, with a lot of humility, sacrificing so many things and following so many kinds of rules and service, serving a lot. He received that Brahmajnana from his Guru, and here this disciple is coming and saying it's like ready-made. It's Brahmajnana is there, moksha I want 4 hours just in give. No. It is not possible. No, because nowadays everything is available ready-made, no? Instant, immediately we want to get it. Everything is available. Why not moksha? Why not Brahmajnana? No. There is no other way other than following tradition. Anything is possible in this world to get immediately, may be possible. I cannot say everything, few things. Even in this world, if we see, So many creative kind of things, they will take their own time. Immediately we cannot do. Then when it comes to Brahmajnana, how person will get immediately? Of course, if that student is fit student, if he is having such kind of capacity to understand inner statements, given inner meanings of the scriptures, Mahavakyas, then within no time he can get. But having so many vasanas and so much ignorance, within 2-3 hours or 4 hours, person cannot receive that. Even to renounce one simple thing, how much that person has to do sadhana. How many years it will take to mold himself to become fit student. So here, prasannam tamanuprapya, before that, bhaktya prahva prasraya sevana. Why all these things said? It's a surrender, you should have humility and you should serve Guru. Why all these things? Without all these things also, just I will go and I'll ask, he should impart. No, not like that. Because the tuning should be there with that Guru Mahatma. If any person just you will ask and that person will give that knowledge, the value will not be there. See, when we have value for that person, whatever comes from the person, we will take it as mantra. We will follow it. When we don't have that tuning, when we don't have that shraddha, devotion, then that person may be imparting such kind of wonderful knowledge, but other person are unable to receive it. He cannot follow it. The defect is there in that person. So the disciple should tune with that Guru Mahatma. That proper relationship should be there. That's why in olden days in Gurukulas, when the disciples will reach Gurukula, immediately Guru Mahatmas, they did not impart that Brahmajnana. They say, you stay for a few years in the ashram, you serve. Even in one Upanishad also it is said, Prashna Upanishad also, you stay here, you serve here, then afterwards if you are having doubts, you can ask me. If I know, I will tell. If after few years service, when the disciples will ask, if Guru Mahatma will say, I don't know, simple one word, I don't know, then what will happen? Why all these things? Because that Guru Shushrusha, having that Shraddha, humility, bhakti, all these things will help that seeker to remove his ego. And he will come out of from so many negative thoughts and emotions. His mind will be purified and he will tune well with Sadguru, Guru Mahatma. Then he can understand scriptures well. It's very subtle kind of relationship, in fact. Guru Shishya Sambandha, it's very subtle. Prasannam tamanuprapya. Once Guru is pleased with us, then approach him and ask, what? Jnatavyam atmanah. Don't go and ask any worldly kind of things. Don't ask simple questions. Don't ask about worldly kind of means secular kind of things or Gruha Sambandha means domestic kind of things. Please don't ask. Please don't waste his time and please don't waste your time also. Ask about which should be known. Jnatavyam. Jnatavyam means that which should be known. Atmanaha, by ones. You should ask for self-knowledge. How to ask a question? We should know. What kind of questions should be asked? We should know. All these things also explained by our Shankaracharya ji, Puja Shankaracharya ji. We will see all those things also in following slokas. Disciple may be thinking, Guru Mahatma is very pleased because of my service, my humility, etc. In fact, Gurus, they will be having compassion towards everyone, common. Guru will be pleased not by our money, not by our service. Please remember, generally people will be thinking, not by wealth, not by seva, not by any worldly kind of thing. Guru will be pleased with us when we are fit to receive Brahma Jnana. When we are ready to appreciate the thoughts given in the Shastras, when we are ready to follow them, Guru will be pleased at that time. Remaining all these things are external. Because of all these things, that person will become fit. That's why all these things said for disciple. Disciple has to follow. So, from Mahatma's standpoint, they will see whether this person is fit to receive this knowledge or not. If once that Guru Mahatma will come to know that person is fit student, he will not leave. He will impart that knowledge. Next sloka is so beautiful. Our Pujya Shankaracharya ji is a great philosopher and great poet also. Great poet. Pouring out his poetry in the next sloka and following few slokas also. Beautiful description. Just we will chant this sloka today. Tomorrow we'll see meaning of this sloka. When this is one of my favorite slokas in the scriptures. It's very beautiful. After approaching Guru, how he should express his state and what should be asked, everything expounded here. Swamin namaste nataloka bandhu. Swamin namaste nataloka bandhu. Karunya sindho patitam bhavabdham. Karunya sindho patitam bhavabdham. Mamuddharatmiya kataksha drustya. Mamuddharatmiya kataksha drustya. Rujvati karunya sudabhivrustya. Rujvati karunya sudabhivrustya. If it is possible, please all of you try to by heart this sloka. Wonderful prayer done by Shishya. Tomorrow we will see meaning of this sloka. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. బ్రహ్మజ్ఞానాన్ని బోధించేటువంటి సద్గురువు శ్రోత్రియుడై ఉండాలి. బ్రహ్మజ్ఞానాన్ని బోధించగలిగినటువంటి శాస్త్ర పరిజ్ఞానము కలిగి ఉండాలి. అంతేకాకుండా బ్రహ్మనిష్ఠుడై ఉండాలి. శ్రోత్రియ బ్రహ్మనిష్ఠ పురుష. 33వ శ్లోకంలో సద్గురువు యొక్క లక్షణాల గురించి చెప్పుకున్నారు. శాస్త్రాలని శ్రవణం చేసి అర్థం చేసుకొని బోధించేటువంటి శక్తి కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వారు శ్రోత్రియుడు. ఏ విధమైనటువంటి పాపములు లేనటువంటి వారు, పాపరహితుడై ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, కోరికల చేత బాధింపబడకుండా ఉండేటువంటి వారు, పుత్రేష్ణ విత్తేష్ణ లోకేష్ణ ఇటువంటి కోరికల నుండి విడుదల విముక్తిని పొందినటువంటి వారు, బ్రహ్మ విత్తముడై ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, బ్రహ్మతత్వాన్ని తెలుసుకొని ఉన్నటువంటి శ్రేష్టమైనటువంటి వారు. అంతేకాకుండా బ్రహ్మతత్వములో స్థిరత్వాన్ని పొంది ఉన్నవారు, బ్రహ్మనిష్టని కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, శాంత స్వభావము కలిగిన వారు, శాంతుడై ఉన్నవారు. ఇక్కడ శాంతుడు అంటే కేవలము మానసిక స్థాయిలో శాంతి కాదు, బ్రహ్మానుభూతిని పొందటం వల్ల కలిగినటువంటి చాలా డెప్త్ అంటాం కదా, గూఢమైనటువంటి శాంతి. ఆ పదం కూడా సరిపడదు. చాలా అలజడులు అన్నటువంటిది లేనటువంటి చాలా ఉత్తమమైనటువంటి స్థితి. శాంతి అన్న పదాన్ని పూర్తిగా మన మాటలో చెప్పడానికి కూడా సాధ్యం కాదు. ఎందుకంటే బాహ్య ప్రపంచంలో ఉన్న వ్యక్తికి కోరికలు తీరినప్పుడు, లేకపోతే ఏ విధమైన కోరికలు ఎక్కువ అలజడి లేనప్పుడు, అనుకున్నవి సాధించినప్పుడు కాసేపు ప్రశాంతత అన్నటువంటిది అనిపిస్తుంది. కానీ ఎక్కువ శాతము ఎన్ని ఉన్నా, ఎంతమంది ఉన్నా, ఎన్ని సంపదలు ఉన్నా మనిషికి ప్రశాంతత అన్నటువంటిది ఉండకపోవచ్చు. సో ఇక్కడ శాంతి అన్నటువంటిది బ్రహ్మ ఆనంద స్థితి, ఏ విధమైన వాసనలు లేనటువంటి స్థితి. నిరింధన ఇవానల, ఉదాహరణ ఏం చెప్తున్నారు పూజ్య శంకరాచార్యుల వారంటే, ఏ విధంగా అయితే ఇంధనము లేకుండా ఉంటే అగ్ని లేకుండా ఉంటుందో, అగ్ని అంతా కూడా ఉపశమించిపోతుందో. అగ్నికి ఆజ్యం పోయడం అంటారు చూడండి. ఇప్పుడు అగ్నిలో ఏమైనా ద్రవ్యాలు వేస్తూ ఉన్నట్లయితే ఆజ్యం పోస్తూ ఉంటే ఇంకా ఎక్కువగా వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. అసలు దానికి తగిన ఇంధనం లేదు అంటే ఉపశమించిపోతుంది. అదే విధంగా వాసనలన్నీ ఎక్కువగా ఉన్నట్లయితే కర్మలు చేయడం, మళ్ళీ కర్మ ఫలితాలు అవన్నీ అనుభవిస్తూ ఉండడము, వాసనలు ఏర్పడడం అవన్నీ ఉన్నట్లయితే శాంత స్థితి ఉండదు. ఇవన్నీ తొలగిపోయినప్పుడే శాంత స్థితి అన్నటువంటిది కలుగుతుంది. శాంతుడై ఉన్నటువంటి వారు అహేతుక దయా సింధువు, ఏ విధమైన కారణము లేకుండానే అందరి పట్ల దయని కలిగి ఉన్నటువంటి వారు, అందరి క్షేమాన్ని కోరేటువంటి వారు, లోక సమస్త సుఖినో భవంతు అని ప్రార్థించేటువంటి వారు, లోక కళ్యాణం కోసము సత్కార్యములు చేసేటువంటి వారు. దయాసింధు, దయాసింధు అంటే కరుణా సముద్రుడు. సముద్రానికి ఏ విధంగా అయితే సముద్రం ఏ విధంగా అపారంగా ఉంటుందో ఆయన యొక్క కరుణ కూడా అంత అపారంగా ఉంటుంది అని చెప్తున్నారు. ఇక్కడ కరుణ అపారంగా, దయ అపారంగా ఉండటము అంటే మనం అన్ని తప్పులన్నీ చేసుకుంటూ మీరు దయా సింధువు కదా మమ్మల్ని క్షమించేయండి అని చెప్పడం కాదనమాట. ఈ దయ ఎటువంటిది అంటే శిష్యులని సరి అయిన మార్గంలో పెట్టేటువంటి దయ. అది చాలా ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు తల్లిదండ్రులు మేము పిల్లల్ని చాలా ప్రేమగా చూసుకుంటున్నాం అనేసి వాళ్ళకి ఏం కావాలంటే అవన్నీ ఇస్తూ వాళ్ళు చెప్పినట్లు వింటూ ఎలా అంటే అలా పెంచేస్తే వాళ్ళు పెద్ద అయిన తర్వాత ఈ ప్రపంచంలో బ్రతకడమే కష్టమైపోతుంది. వాళ్ళకి సంస్కారహీనులుగా తయారయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. సో దయ, ప్రేమ అన్నటువంటివి ఎలా వ్యక్తం అవ్వాలి అంటే అవతలి వ్యక్తి శ్రేయస్సు కలిగి ఉండేలాగా, శ్రేయ మార్గంలో నడిచే విధంగా ఉండాలన్నమాట. బంధువు ఆనమతాం సతాం, ఎవరైతే ఆయనకి సంపూర్ణంగా శరణాగతులై ఉంటారో, సరెండర్ అవుతారో అటువంటి మంచి వ్యక్తులందరికీ ఆయన బంధువుతో సమానం. ఇక్కడ బంధువు అంటే ప్రాపంచిక బంధుత్వము అని కాదు, అందరి యొక్క క్షేమాన్ని కోరేటువంటి వారు. ఇక్కడ ఆనమతాం సతాం అన్న పదం ఎందుకు ఉపయోగించారంటే సంత మహాత్ములు అందరికీ మహాత్ములు, అందరికీ నమస్కరించడం జరుగుతుంది మనం. కానీ గురు శిష్య సంబంధం అన్నది చాలా విశేషమైనటువంటిది. గురువు అంటే నాకు ప్రత్యేకం అన్నమాట. ఎందుకు ప్రత్యేకము అంటే ఆ గురువుగా ఎవరినైతే మనం భావిస్తున్నామో వాళ్ళు మన యొక్క అజ్ఞానాన్ని తొలగిస్తారు. మనలో ఉన్నటువంటి సంశయాలు, ఏమన్నా డౌట్లు ఉన్నట్లయితే వాళ్ళని అడిగి తెలుసుకునే అవకాశము ఉంటుంది. మనల్ని సరి అయిన మార్గంలో నడిపిస్తారు. అయితే ఎవరైతే వాళ్ళకి శరణాగతులు అవుతారో వాళ్ళకి బంధువు అని చెప్తున్నారు. అంటే మిగతా వాళ్ళకి శత్రువు అని కాదు. ఎక్కడైనా చూడండి, ఏ సంబంధ బాంధవ్యంలో అయినా కూడా ఇద్దరి వ్యక్తుల మధ్య చాలా మంచి సంబంధం ఉంది అని అంటే అది ఇరువైపుల నుంచి ఉండాలి. మనము ఒక వ్యక్తికి దగ్గర కావాలి అనుకున్నప్పుడు ఆ వ్యక్తి పట్ల మనకి ప్రేమ, గౌరవము, అభిమానము, వాళ్ళ మంచి కోరడము ఇవన్నీ ఉంటేనే అవతలి వ్యక్తికి దగ్గర కాగలుగుతాము. ఇవి లోపించినప్పుడు అవతలి వ్యక్తి ఎంత ఉన్నతమైన వారు, గొప్పవారైనా మనం దగ్గర కాలేము. అందుకని ఇక్కడ ఆనమతాం సతాం అని చెప్పుకున్నారనమాట. ఆ మంచి వ్యక్తులు ఎవరైతే అంకిత భావంతో ఆయనకి శరణాగతులు అవుతారో అటువంటి వాళ్ళకి బంధువు, అహేతుక దయాసింధు అని చెప్పుకున్నారనమాట. పూర్వజన్మ పుణ్యం ఎంతో చేసుకుంటేనే మనకి గురువులు లభిస్తారు. ఇంకా ఎంతో పుణ్యం చేసుకుంటేనే గురువులు మన పట్ల ప్రసన్నంగా ఉంటారు. వాస్తవం ఇవన్నీ అయితే అసలు ఆ సద్గురువు యొక్క ఆ కరుణా కటాక్ష వీక్షణాలు పొందాలంటే చాలా పుణ్యం చేసుకుని ఉండాలి, చాలా మంచి హృదయం ఉండాలి, చాలా శ్రద్ధ, అంకిత భావము ఉండాలి. తర్వాత శ్లోకంలో తమారాధ్య గురుం హత్య, గురువు గారిని సమీపించి ఆయన్ని భక్తితో ఆరాధించి ప్రశ్రయ సేవనై, ఆయన్ని శరణు పొందటము, ప్రశ్రయ వినయ భావాన్ని కలిగి ఉండటము, సేవ చేయటం, ఆయనకి సేవ చేస్తూ చాలా వినయ భావాన్ని కలిగి ఉండి సంపూర్ణ శరణాగతిని కలిగి ఉన్నప్పుడు, ప్రసన్నం, ఆయన ప్రసన్నుడై ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆయన్ని సమీపించి తమను ప్రాప్య పృచ్చేత్, అడగాలి. దేని గురించి అంటే ప్రాపంచిక విషయాల గురించో, మన ఇండ్లలో విషయాల గురించో, బాహ్య విషయాల గురించో కాకుండా బ్రహ్మ విద్యని గురించి, భగవతత్వాన్ని గురించి అడిగి తెలుసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. తరువాత శ్లోకం శంకరాచార్యుల వారు చాలా అద్భుతమైనటువంటి కవితా రూపంలో రాస్తున్నారన్నమాట. శిష్యుడు గురువు గారి దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి బ్రహ్మజ్ఞానాన్ని బోధించమని, ముక్తిని ప్రసాదించమని వేడుకుంటూ ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రార్థన చాలా అద్భుతమైనటువంటిది. రేపటి రోజున వివరణ చెప్పుకుంటాం. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।